Any good acting has behavior with it.
Nate, why? Why such bitterness? What have I done to you? Get out! You're no nephew of mine. As far as I'm concerned, you're as dead as that wretch Cermak.
You have to embellish the words with a certain amount of gravity. Because we're talking about things that are really important here that are kind of secret. There's a natural kind of darkness when you talk about noir.
Guys,
You know, it's great. I
my
love it.
control is frozen for a minute, so you might have to watch this. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not.
When the whole thing started, I thought, they want a statement. Fine. But it'll be my statement.
The Israeli Ministry of Defense has decided to finance the construction of a monument for my fallen soldiers in southern Lebanon. We'll create an oasis of peace, because what is death if not the ultimate peace?
This project, it will require how many trips to Lebanon?
8, 10.
10 trips on death road. You're putting yourself and the company at risk. Lebanon is our Vietnam.
Whatever happens, stay calm.
Let me do it my way. Trust me, for once. Be a monument for all victims of the Lebanon War. A sacred place for both Christians and Muslims.
They force our boys to serve and to die. How can we build this country if they keep destroying it?
You're going into Lebanon? Is it your father? He put you up to this?
Amnon, get out!
I brought this on all of you.
Architecture is not politics.
Everything is politics, even the Holy Scripture is.
I have to defend my vision.
Stop it, damn it! You're just gonna walk away?
Are you for the occupation or against it?
Well, it is I, your Pharaoh of Physical Media, Laser Bob, and we're back with Let's Get Physical Media, I think, episode 232 or something. And it's Oscar Day, ladies and gentlemen. It's Oscar Day, and you know what? Some people dress up for Oscar Day. I'm not one of those people. But you know who is? Somebody you know. Somebody you love. Somebody that's beaming into us all the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland. Mr. Dieter Bastian.
Well, people, don't adjust your colors on your television. Everything is fine now. That has to be yellow, green. And I say, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Dieter here, I'm Rocky Like Hurricane. And welcome to the B&B Motel for Let's Get Physical Media, our little Oscar preview show. And when Rob asked me, dudes, get your butt off the couch. We need to start 2 hours early. For me, actually, today, this is really nice for me, Rob. Because in our normal time slot, the Oscars would be pretty close and I would probably fall asleep during the ceremony. But at this time, I can, after Let's Get Physical Media, take a nap and then be refreshed to watch the show, the Oscars, tonight. And Rob, I've missed actually your predictions on the John Campea show, and I just wanted to ask you, is there one category where you believe there could be an upset? That you would think, in this category, I have something else in mind who could win, perhaps?
I think there's competitive categories, but I think the only real sure thing is probably Jesse Buckley for Hamnet.
Yeah.
But I think
Correct.
the other, I think Michael B. Jordan might take it. You never know. Timothy Chalamet. It's been a weird Oscar campaigning season, especially in the last month. So who knows where it's going to go.
But I think that's a good thing, Rob, that we actually, it can go in every direction.
I
tonight.
agree. I'm really curious. I don't know. I think there's a lot of really strong contenders this year.
Yeah.
A lot of good movies, and I'm very looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. You know, I like John, I love the Oscars. I've loved the Oscars since I was a little kid. So, it's always fun to watch the Oscars. I've always loved them. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be interesting to see.
It's awesome. It's awesome for me that we do the show earlier than usual. But I think we are a little bit too early for box office, Rob. Even if there's perhaps not many.
No,
movies
we are not
you have numbers,
too
Rob?
early with,
Already?
but we have box office numbers. Anthony D'Alessandro.
Just a quick question, Rob. Did you see Undertone with Alvaro? You wanted
I
to
did
make
see
it up?
Undertone with Alvaro.
Oh, it would be nice if you gave us a little
Okay.
bit of a review about it.
Alvaro loved it. He was terrified. I thought I was not as terrified.
Yeah. I hear, Rob, that the movie has a totally abrupt ending to it. It just ends, I heard on some reviews.
No, I mean, it leads up to that. Look, here's my problem, and Alvaro doesn't care about this. We get into these arguments sometimes.
Which is good.
What's really interesting about this movie, Roy Lee produced it. You know, it's really low budget, and it's basically one woman. Actually, there's really only two actresses on screen in this movie.
Yeah,
and the whole thing takes place inside a house, and it's one woman talking into her microphone on a podcast most of the movie.
Yeah.
And then there is her ailing mother that's upstairs in the bedroom. So the movie, you could have made this movie for no money. I mean, some money, but I mean, I can't even. I'm going to ask Roy Lee what the budget was for this.
I read, Rob. It was about $500K. The movie.
Yeah. That's that. You could have made it for half that. But the sound design's incredible. The really interesting thing though about this movie is what this movie has to do a lot of heavy lifting. I mean, basically the plot of the movie is this guy and this girl do these. They cover mysteries or supernatural events on their podcast. They just talk about them. And then somebody anonymous sends them these 10 audio files that they play. And they're with a couple, and they bring up all this mythology and lore about this demon that takes children all the way back to for hundreds and hundreds of years. And then, of course, the demon is real, but it's all suggested. My biggest problem with the movie is it asks to do a lot. Like, I'm sitting there listening to all this, and I can't get past the fact that, it's okay, there's this demon, and yet somebody's making these podcast recordings about this other event that the demon participated in that happened, and then our main character is being tormented by the same demon because there's a lot of things in it. I mean, I get what I was listening to. And in the supernatural, you shouldn't ask yourself these logic questions. But the filmmakers themselves, by using technology, they set up a lot of questions about, okay, who made these audio files? How did they send them? And Alvaro's like, it doesn't matter. It's supernatural. And I'm like, okay, it's like The Ring. When I saw The Ring, I had kind of the same problem. I mean, we got in this argument about The Ring, and he doesn't care because it's supernatural. And I'm like, but even the supernatural has rules. Vampires have rules. Werewolves have rules. But this is just like, whatever. We'll just go with it. And while I thought the movie was really creepy and atmospheric, it's for what it is, it's really, really well done.
Yeah.
I just felt that it played a little too fast and loose for me in that you're making all of these leaps through the movie, but it was effective. I really enjoyed watching it. I don't think the movie has a lot of rewatchability to it, and a lot of it, we saw it in a theater that had a really great sound system. So by the end of the movie, the sound is incredibly important in the film. and the sound design was terrific. So
it's I think the director's first work.
yeah, and it's really impressive. But I just felt like I kept waiting. I wanted more. You know, as a viewer, I'm like, you've got to give me more. But Alvaro was freaked out the whole time. He was terrified for most of the movie. It was pretty funny sitting next to him. But we saw that after we saw Project Hail Mary.
Yeah. We will get to that after your box office readout, Rob. Where did Undertone landed?
So here we go. Here is the domestic box office. Hoppers remains the number one movie in week 2. It banked another $28 million for the weekend for a total of $86.8 million. Reminders of Him, the new Colleen Hoover movie that I'm happy is out, so I never have to watch that trailer again, did quite well with $18.2 million. Undertone grossed $9.3 million, and on a budget of $500,000, that's an epic fucking win.
Yep.
And the AMC Burbank was the place that grossed the most at $36,000 for the weekend.
Understandable.
Scream 7 put up another $8.35 million for a total of $106.5 million. Sony's Goat grossed another $4.7 million for a total of $90.5 million. The Bride was down 70% from week 1, so that's not good, for a total of $11.3 million. And Wuthering Heights put up another $1.66 million for $81.9 million. And Kiki's Delivery Service, the Miyazaki film, put up $1.66 million. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle 2, The Secret of the Ooze, re-released. It made $1.47 million for a total box office take of $80.1 million. And at number 10 is rounded out by Crime 101, which made $1.1 million for a total of $35.5 million. So, and it outgrossed, it was up 68% from last year on this same weekend. So, there you go.
Pretty decent. Okay. Considering last week The Bride started in the theaters, it made 3rd place in the States, Rob. Where do you think it landed in the German charts over the first weekend? Just a guess, Rob. What kind of number? 3rd in the US?
You mean in terms of box office?
No, not box. Exactly, Rob. Box office. Which number? At which number
Third.
it opened here?
It also opened 3rd there.
Number 18, Rob, in Germany. Over the first weekend. Number 18. I scrolled through the box office in Germany. Where is The Bride? Where? Oh, there is The Bride. Number 18. Couldn't believe it. And Rob, I had the chance yesterday to watch Project Hail Mary. And I'm taking my leave now, Rob. I'm taking my boat to the island to be alone. It's my opinion of the movie. Because many believe this is my show. No, I'm just a guest here on Rob's channel, and I have to abide by his rules. And one thing you always told us, Rob, is the movie, considering verisimilitude, more on verisimilitude, gives you one ask that you have to believe in, where you can say, okay, I go with it. But I couldn't get into Rocky, Rob, at all. I was always putting in my mind, don't think about the stone monster in Galaxy Quest. Don't think about the stone monster in Galaxy Quest. I couldn't get attached to that character at all. And I haven't read the book completely, Rob. I'm still making my way through it. And I thought it was pretty rushed through things. I know you can't put everything on the screen, but especially the beginning, Rob. You know, I thought, wait, we are already at the flashback here after 2 minutes. I'm already in, and I thought it lacked. It is always about what you expect the movie to be and what you're getting. I was more in the trajectory of something like For All Mankind, that the movie would be very sincere, with the science. But once again, it is a movie that is all about jokes, all about the humor. So for me, Rob, unfortunately, I have to say I was not a big fan of the movie, especially the beginning, where I thought we would really get when he wakes up in space, how his body get to refunction again. But this was a lot of stuff was glossed over for me against the book, which I thought was important. So for me, perhaps with a second watch, but on first watch, I couldn't get into Rocky. And if you have a problem with the alien in the movie, if you can't get attached to it, then unfortunately the movie is not really working for you. So for me, I wasn't a big fan after first watch, Rob. But you were a little bit different because you said on Instagram, at least, Rob, you felt Rocky was a little bit more like a sidekick. And for me, it was even further than just being a sidekick. But your take, Rob, because everyone other loves the movie, I know.
Okay. The I don't disagree with some of what you're saying. The film, I thought the film was beautifully made. I thought it's wildly entertaining, but like you, it was interesting because the film, I will say this, it felt too lightweight even for me.
Correct.
As much as I look, I think it's a really good movie. People are going to love it. But even The Martian,
they certainly do.
The Martian, while The Martian was humorous, The Martian had a real sense of wonder, and it had a real sense of peril in it. Like it was, and I felt one of the things like the thing about the book is there's a lot of peril in the book as it goes on, and you really feel like they're going to die at any minute. And look, Gosling does a great job. It was beautifully directed, but like you, I did not, the thing that I felt was missing, and I said this in my Lawn and Mordor video yesterday on Instagram, I said that the thing about Rocky is he is treated like a cute pet. And the fact is when, meeting and I agree with you, I think the movie was probably 3 hours and they had to cut it to 2:36 because I had read earlier that the movie was 3 hours and everybody said it was the greatest thing in the world.
Okay.
They've removed a lot of the science, and they kind of glossed over the threat and the to keep it entertaining, to keep it moving. And I think what it was missing for me was awe and wonder, because Rocky did work for me, but when they meet, there's no wonder in meeting an alien creature. They had to go, everything goes by so fast. And you don't get a minute, like there's no reflection from Grace about meeting an alien species. And the way that Rocky, like if I had made the film, like the language, for instance, as Rocky's learning to speak English, I would have had his English get better throughout the movie as he's learning the language and the vernacular, because Rocky's very, very smart. He's as smart as Grace, if not more so. There's incredibly, they have different, because of the conditions on their planet, on Eridani. They're incredibly intelligent. They're just different than we are. So there's things that are different about their environment. And it was almost like I just couldn't get past the fact that their entire relationship was humorous, and there was no, it was that's all I can say is it was missing the sense of wonder that the book had in it. And also as a comparison, Rob, you always say awe and wonder. When I think about Passengers, the movie, when they're doing for the first time a spacewalk, going on the outside, in that infinitude of space, there you get that awe and wonder. But when he goes out for the first time, it's just moving around trying to catch the football, Right.
So But the most people seems to like it. And Rob, at least I've got a little bit my pin here.
Oh, there you go.
I got my Project Hail Mary pin underneath.
Well, do you know?
So me, like I said, it's missing. It's missing a little bit of the weight, and there was a lot of montage in the movie. A lot of not really. There were scenes where you shouldn't have more room to breathe, but there's always like you said, fast paced, moving forward.
Well, it was
perhaps on the second watch, but on first. The hype
do you know what my ultimate problem with the movie is? And by the way, I do think it's a really, really good movie. But the problem with the movie is it's a comedy first and it's a science fiction movie second. And if I had made the film
in a nutshell, Rob, put that quote on the cover of the Blu-ray.
Yeah, it's a comedy. It was directed by comedy directors, and they made a comedy that's also a science fiction movie. It should have been a science fiction movie that was also very humorous. And I think exactly like the book. And there's just I'll give you an example. I was talking with somebody about this. When they go shopping, they're going to build that. He goes with the Secret Service guy, and they're like bowling in Home Depot.
That for me was okay. You're spending time on that scene, but don't give us the great opening when he wakes up in the ship trying to get his motor functions back. But you're doing a goofy scene here in the depot. For me,
Well, that's because that's my biggest, that was my biggest, and there's a lot of improv. And look, it was I really thought Rocky worked well, but the problem was they didn't offset. Rocky is a comic foil the whole movie. He's a comic sidekick. He's equal to Ryland Grace. And the way I know we're seeing it through the eyes of a human, but there never was a moment where Rocky needed to school Grace and go, no, you're wrong about this. And it was always like, okay, Grace is the star of the movie. I get it. But they never gave Rocky a moment to show just how smart he really was. They gave him heroic moments, but we needed to see the coming together of two very disparate this is the first time any human being has been an alien. Not just an alien, but from a technologically advanced spacefaring race. And we never get that sort of awe. Even in E.T., when Elliot first meets E.T., there's the John Williams score, there's this, and I get it, but the first meeting between them should have been more scientifically based instead of, I don't know, I just missed that. I missed the science fiction of it all.
What did Alvaro think of the movie?
I think he felt the same way that I did. He liked it less. Alvaro is kind of a sci-fi snob because he comes from the literary world, and this is lightweight. So, but I did love the movie for what it is as a I would say that Galaxy Quest and this movie could be running on a double bill together forever. I wanted this to be one of the great science fiction movies of all time. But it's probably the second greatest science fiction comedy of all time after Galaxy Quest. Yeah.
Certainly. So that's our take, people, of Project Hail Mary, which will be actually starting next week, and we will see how it will do at the box office. On another digital front, Rob, a movie that was way headier than I was actually expecting. I've seen finally the Nugent Verbinski movie. Good luck, have fun, don't die.
Yeah, I saw it. I've seen it.
And considering the trailer, I was expecting a way more fast-paced movie, But there's actually really long flashbacks to characters that gets involved with Sam Rockwell's character, the man from the future. So I really had a nice time, but it is actually a pretty heady movie, and perhaps that was a little bit what it was holding back. So it's actually a little bit of the opposite of Project Hail Mary.
I can see that.
So, but a good time, but it's headier than I was expecting. And then I'm a week late to the party, Rob. I watched Alan Richardson's War Machine on Netflix. And as Mark Kermode would say, a nuts and bolts action film, Transformers meeting Predator, or more like Hideo Kojima would say, more Metal Gear Solid, considering the War Machine. Rob, it says exactly what's on the tin, War Machine.
Right.
That's all you need to know about At a Blast, and I think it's a big hit on Netflix. There are already talks about a sequel, and for me, totally thrilling, 96 minutes, and it's a Lionsgate, actually, production with Netflix, so I would not say no at all to a sequel. And while Project Hail Mary didn't come fully for me, considering humor or tears, but what I've seen, Rob, considering, even if it's not featured this evening, I finally got around to watch I Swear, the movie who did get a little bit more recognition at the BAFTAs. Great movie, Rob. Great movie. This, for me, is actually a must-see. I laughed, I cried about John Davidson, who is unfortunately under Tourette syndrome, which is always that tricky balance where stuff will be humorous, even if it's dark humorous, especially at the beginning. I was already in. Great movie, Rob. A must-see for me. I swear. Really, really nice. I laughed, I cried. One of the big ones. Okay, this was the stuff, Rob, that I have seen and watched last week. And I was just happy. And of course, Rob, a little bit drawback for Project Hail Mary. I had to watch it with the German dub yesterday, Rob, which is, of course, always a little bit of a drawback for me. So this will get better on second.
Well, let me ask you one more question. Did you watch the latest episode of Paradise?
Yes, I have seen the latest episode of Paradise on Monday. And I will hope the last 3 episodes now will be bangers, Rob. The last 3. Well, and I have started, Rob. Yeah, sorry.
Well, now let me ask you. There's all these questions or all of these the speculation online.
Okay, I've missed that.
That there's parallel realities happening and time travel. Have you been getting that? Because of the quantum,
No, I thought this is just the flashbacks about her wife's survival.
Well, but there's all this talk because there's been some weird flashback things happening in terms of and quantum entanglement. The scientists that Sinatra wanted his invention.
Yeah.
And she's got her secret goings on that there's some kind of whatever. And it's all the speculation online. And I'm like, all right.
No, I missed that speculation. Let's see how the last 3 episodes will check out. But Rob, I have not finished it. But I started the beauty. It's awesome. It's awesome. I'm in I think 6 episodes in, so I have 4 or 3 left to go. Loving it.
It does not stick the landing. But there's still fun to be had. But the last 2 episodes were pretty good. But it's still, that show is all over the place. But isn't it fun to watch?
I love it. Love it anyway.
Yeah, me too.
Because the concept is awesome. So it's finished, Rob. There will not be a second season, perhaps.
I don't know. To be honest.
Okay.
I have.
But I'm working through it. Rob.
Yeah.
I'm working through it. So that was what I have seen, Rob. So do we have some super chats that came in?
I don't know. That's a good question. We shall see if we have super chats. We do. We have a few. Kelvin's been a member for 47 months.
Kelvin.
Darth Plato says, "Hey Rob, hey Dietz, could you guys repeat everything you've said up to this point? I was too distracted by Dietz's bow tie. Sell that tie on the PGS."
Worry about that.
No.
Let's make it an audio drama.
I will not be selling that bow tie. So there you go. Unfortunately.
Okay.
But it's a great bow tie.
It's flashy, Rob.
So we are
like
caught up.
shiny. Okay.
Yes.
Should we go to our?
Yeah, I don't
main
have much to
origin
show
topic?
again this week, but let's start with you.
Okay. Okay.
What'd you
start
get?
with me, Rob. Okay. My dear friend in Iowa, Muscatine, did send me something, but I'm a little bit later in the afternoon, so a little bit late for coffee and cake. But he sent me his movie on DVD, Death by Fruitcake, from Max Allen Collins. There you go, Rob. You have your copy too.
Mine too.
Yeah. Nice.
The DVD of Death.
Even Max, yeah.
Death
Even
by
Max
Fruitcake.
apologized. Was too fast because I always remind him in the email, sign it, Max, sign it. Then he said, Bob said already sent it on its way, so this is unfortunately not signed. But Max, I have stuff from you signed, so it's not a big deal. Death by Fruitcake. Rob,
Death by Fruitcake on DVD from Max Allen Collins. We both got it, so there we go.
Yeah. Okay. Then Rob had this in the news section. I've not seen it. I don't expect anything big about considering picture quality. Of course, I bought the Cinderella Blu-ray, Cinderella in concert from back in the day, but not expecting much from the picture quality. We'll see. Not seen it yet. Nothing special. Just the Blu-ray. This is just a slip inside. Just a promotion clip. Cinderella live in concert. I think from 1990. Some of the height of their powers. Then A Cat in the Bag from me. I heard good things about it from Mubi. Actually, Lurker. The movie is called Lurker. I've not seen it. Heard good things about it. And it comes, unfortunately, with nothing. Just Blu-ray. This is not a 4K. Just an O-ring. But let me just see. No, this time not. Because I remember when The Substance came out. The Substance did already featured German language, but this one actually not only English and French. Lurker. Looking forward to it. Heard good things about it, but not seen it yet. Then from Scream Factory, I have two titles. This one, the 4K or for Devil's Advocate.
Oh, I have to get that. I love that movie so much.
Yeah. Haven't seen it in a long time. So
it's so good.
4K and the Blu-ray in it. Then a little bit of an older one too. Stepfather.
Great movie.
Yeah. Comes with, again, just an O-ring, 4K, and the Blu-ray from Scream Factory. Just see. 4K restoration, Dolby Vision. Should be thrilling. From Scream Factory. Then let me just go over here. This is from Cult Epics. A Cat in the Bag for me. The movie is called The Girl Who Leaped Through Time. I remember you have it on the news section. There's different cover variations underneath.
That's based on the animated film. That's based on an animated. It's the live action.
I know about an animated movie that has that title, but I didn't know this was a live action version of it. So it comes with the 4K and the Blu-ray, and not only that, it has a different cover artwork underneath it. But I decided to go with this one because the cover that you get underneath is the same that is on the booklet for it.
Yeah.
So cat in the Bag for me from what's the label? Epics, Cult Epics. Okay. Nicely done. So Cat in the Bag for me. Then I have two Arrow titles. The first one, Rob, I know nothing about, but the cover looks enticing to me. The movie is called Calvare. So I don't know anything about this one. It's a different cover variation underneath. And it comes with a booklet too. Let me just see what card Arrow puts in. Oh, that's the card that Arrow has put in. Stay in slot. which always gives us a little bit of a head up, but we're coming down the pipeline for them. So I have no idea what this is even about. Let me just see what the BBFC says, Rob. No, only suitable for persons over 18, but nothing specific. Why? Okay. Some people would kill for company. Okay. That's the tagline on the back. Looking forward to it, but don't know anything. Then an older movie, which is a blind spot for me too. It is, Rob, Black Sunday from Arrow. But this 4K, just like Calvet, it's just a...
You've never seen Black
Blu-ray?
Sunday?
No. Rob.
That movie is awesome. It's based on a novel by Thomas Harris, who wrote The Red Dragon, and it's about terrorists trying to blow up the Super Bowl, and it was directed by John Frankenheimer. It's amazing.
Awesome. That's good to know, Rob. That's good to know. And we have a card for Boyd, which is already out. Booklet for the movie, but it's not a 4K. This is just a Blu-ray edition for the movie. And you would have the same cover variation as the slip. So, of course, I decided to switch it to the reversible. So, Black Sunday, hopefully not today, considering the Oscars. Okay. Black Sunday. Then, let me just see where I will go to first. Okay, this one, I had to do a little digging. This is a TV movie, and it's called here Young Street Fighter, but the original title is The Brotherhood of Justice. It's from 1986, I believe. And I saw that the aspect ratio is 4:3, so I thought, wait, this is probably a TV movie. And yes, this was a TV movie. Brotherhood of Justice was the original title. But this is actually a 4K and a Blu-ray.
Wow.
So not a Blu-ray and a DVD. So actually a TV movie from back in the day in 4K as a media book. So Keanu and Kiefer really at their young age back in the day. The next one, I know Christoph Gans' new iteration of Return to Silent Hill did not really catch fire, unfortunately, but this is one of my favorites of his. Probably bought this movie way too often, but I bought it again. I bought Crying Freeman media book in 4K. And Crying Freeman, I always remember, was one of the first, perhaps not first, but one at the big anime craze that I had when anime was really something new. After I've seen Akira, I wanted to see more of this stuff, and we had a video store here that actually had some titles to rent, and Crying Freeman was one of them. I was pretty happy with the translation that Christoph Gans did with the movie to the big screen back in the day. And Rob, on an interesting note, I read on the internet this week, considering Christoph Gans, they actually found a longer cut of Silent Hill, a camera negative from back in the day. I don't know if something will come of it, but I found a longer cut of his first Silent Hill movie in somewhere. So fingers crossed, we will get something out of it. That would be really nice to get a different version of Silent Hill. But this is one of his great movies too. Crying Freeman, Miss Mark Dacascos, of course. Staying a little bit in the martial arts realm, we had this in the news section, Rob, and for me, okay, blind buy, I've got from MVD the Force 5 Blu-ray, different cover variation underneath. Even you actually would have 3 cover variation as the poster and the Blu-ray. So this is not a 4K, but this was a blind purchase for me, Force 5, and the slip, but I've not seen it yet. It perfectly fits in the MVD realm from the stuff that they releasing. So 2 left. This one, it's not getting a release here, it seems, even if it's from Sony. I've got DISCS, of course. For me, looks exactly my kind of genre, but I don't know if I've seen it back in the day from DVD. So it's not a 4K from Sony, just normal. It even looks like a made-on-demand disc, considering the print. Now that I've seen it, looks more like a made on demand, even if it has some special features which were probably are leftovers from the DVD days. And speaking of Devon Aoki, let's bring us back to the last one that I got, which actually is produced by one of Rob's friends from Mark Oldman. He produced it. And if there's one style over substance movie that I thoroughly enjoyed, putting it here in there once or twice, I've got Dead or Alive, the video game adaptation from 2006 as a German media book in 4K. And what's a little bit special about it, the 4K is an open matte version of the movie, where you get more picture information on the top and the bottom. And considering that movie, that could be really nicely to have a little bit more picture information on the top and the bottom. I thoroughly enjoyed it. This is a kind of guilty pleasure. You know, the movie is actually not that good. And it's unfortunately, this is the last one that Corey Yoon directed. So it's really nice. You have the disc here, so the 4K. Back. The Blu-ray on the other side. A little bit more. I know there were a lot of production issues here, even with the language barrier in it. And considering his other movie that I showed last week, She Shoot Straight, there are actually moves in here, fighting moves, that are totally a copy and paste from She Shoot Straight. But this is a guilty pleasure for me, Dead or Alive, when video game adaptation were not looked too fondly of it. And when Chris Duckman did his Herolosity video reviews about it. But for me, this is a guilty pleasure. And this is a 4K edition of it. Couldn't pass that up. Produced by Mark Altman. So Rob, this was my haul for this week.
Well, I did not get that much either, like you. I just got a small box from Kino Lorber, but all 4Ks.
Oh.
And the first
that's good to know.
Was Michael Biehn and Matt Craven in K2.
Ooh, I ordered that, Rob. Schnäppchen. It's a Schnäppchen price at the moment.
Yeah, it's the 4K of K2. So I actually like this movie. It stars Michael Biehn and Matt Craven, one of my favorite character actors. And then Max is going to talk about this later, but they dead again. I think they sent me the Blu-ray of this, but then here's the 4K.
Okay.
Kenneth Branagh is dead again. I like this, kind of his spooky noir movie. But Max will be talking about this later today. And then finally, I was really waiting to get this. Guillermo del Toro's Mimic.
Nice.
In 4K because it has the director's cut and the theatrical version. But the theatrical version is taken off an inner positive, and the director's cut was taken off the negative. And as
that's strange, Rob. Normally we know it's the other way.
It's the other way around, yeah. And there's a second slip,
nice.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yep.
So these are the only 3 discs I got this week, and so that's fairly exciting. 3 4Ks, not a big box from Kino, but more of an envelope. But you know what? Beggars can't be choosers. Free shit is free shit.
Especially if they are 4Ks, then you know.
They're Paramount titles too. I think.
Okay.
It's K2's. Yeah, they're all three Paramount titles. And I watched Mimic. It looks great.
Nice.
So
we're looking forward to seeing.
I watched Mimic, and I watched last night. I watched the 4K of Boogie Nights, and some people I've read. I don't think people half the time that are complaining about transfer quality know what they're looking at. I thought the Boogie Nights transfer looked amazing. I mean, you saw the grain, you saw the film that it was shot with. I thought it looked fantastic, and love the film. So that disc looked great. So I finally got all the way through Excalibur. I just scanned through the TV cut, which is kind of hilarious. Yeah. But I watched all the special features and all the documentaries. What a great Great set. And the movie just looks incredible. And then I watched the box set. I was watching 2 of the 3 films in this box set from Vinegar Syndrome from this cult Japanese director that I thought they were like more sex films. I mean, there's sex in them, but one of them's pretty hardcore, and they've got 3 different box sets from him, and I'm impressed with his work. I mean, I'm like, wow, I'd never seen. Let me tell you what let me go to the Vinegar Syndrome website because
remember you had them on the news section.
Yeah, they have more, but so this was the first box set of the films, and I was pretty happy that I bought these. It's Hisayasu Sato. Hisayasu Sato is and they they're pink films, but they're not. There's a lot of horror elements to them as well, and they're pretty great. So I'm really happy with them. At least the first box set. I gotta get the other ones because they're really good. So he says they say a master of combining the macabre with nihilistic and ill-fated character studies of women on the brink of madness. This 3rd volume of the films of Hisayasu Sato collects a trio of the master's filmmaking, the most unsettling and unpredictable look at doomed and demented relationships, all newly restored in 2K from their 35mm camera and negatives. Yeah, man.
Sounds like Oscar movies to me, Rob.
Dude, I definitely have to get box sets 2 and 3 because these are right up my alley.
Yeah.
So,
and I see, Rob, the C wing is opening slowly for the headliner.
Is it? He's just here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know what that means. It's time. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Max Allen Collins. Welcome to the show, Max.
Welcome to the show.
Well, hello. You can see me and hear me?
Yeah, you're great. The volume is perfecto.
Because I didn't see my True Noir opening.
Because Rob has not given you the show output.
Oh, Max. I didn't realize that. I'm sorry, guys. There you go.
That's the problem, Max.
There you go.
You didn't have the show output.
Okay. Last week I complimented Dieter on talking me into seeing Scream 7, which I haven't done yet, but it was an excellent. I really liked what he had to say because it was at odds with what some of the conventional wisdom on that movie is. And today I want to compliment both of you on the discussion of Project Hail Mary. Haven't seen it yet. I don't think it's opened widely, has it, Rob?
No, it opens on Friday.
No, this weekend, Max. This weekend.
Loved your discussion. I have a couple of things, even though I haven't seen the movie, I'd like to kind of add to that. I think one of the factors when you have a book like Project Hail Mary, which is a really well-regarded book, a good book, according to everybody. I haven't read it yet, but I think one of the elements that happens when you have something like Project Hail Mary come about is the difference between how people perceive the book as they've read it and then how it's interpreted on the screen. And that can often be a huge disappointment. I know I talk about Mickey Spillane and Mike Hammer a lot, but in 1953, when the movie I, the Jury came out, and people saw Mike Hammer on screen portrayed by Biff Elliott, they had their own mental image. At that point, he was the Stephen King of the moment. Everybody was reading Mickey Spillane, and everybody had their mental image of Mike Hammer, and he was a first-person character. And when they saw it on screen, they were disappointed. So just just as you're talking about Rocky, Rob, that's the kind of thing that people bring, and if they've met it in their minds first, it's a real problem. Now, when James Bond came along, Fleming wasn't widely read yet in America. He was in the UK. So he didn't have that baggage that the Mike Hammer character had. So that's a factor. And then you also have this factor that I'm hearing come through again from you, Rob, and Dieter, I think. The previews really build your expectations, and the previews define the movie. Maybe it's unfair, but they do. And I can tell you, I'd seen the Project Hail Mary preview many times, and I think there were 2 of them. They didn't sell that as anything near a comedy, which is peculiar to me, because I am not expecting now I am, and that's probably going to be helpful.
Well,
to me.
it's not it's not a traditional comedy in the sense that like a heightened reality, like a Step Brothers or something like that. I mean, it's situational, so the comedy element is there. It's built into the story, but it was also balanced with a really compelling science fiction story. And I think Lord and Miller are comedic guys. They come from comedy, and I think they did a wonderful job directing the movie. But in order, they leaned into, when they cut down the movie and got it down to a manageable length. Well, the movie flies by. It doesn't feel like 2 hours and 36 minutes. But because the character of Rocky, like Dieter pointed out, if you don't buy into that, and I did. I mean, I bought
one ask, Rob. That one ask that you have to give the movie.
But the thing about Rocky is his personality, the way that he's portrayed, is always amusing. He comes off as being immature sometimes, and then they would occasionally give him flourishes of. I didn't feel that. Like I was saying, it's missing. Like, The Martian is a perfect blend. I think The Martian is a pretty perfect movie, to be honest, especially the extended cut. It's a perfect blend. There is definitely humor in it. Throughout the movie, there's real humor, but it's humor that is. Look, when you have Ryan Gosling dabbing or whatever, and then the alien dabs, Rocky dabs. I mean, it's funny, but there should have been a build-up to that. Like, it should have been like, you have an alien creature, and it happens very quickly, and all of a sudden you launch into this putting up your hands and thumb nose, and it's all. And I think they're doing that because inherently Rocky is kind of funny looking. So.
Well, but I also think, as someone who hasn't read the book, they've been selling me a different movie than is being delivered.
Well, it's still there. And look, when we say it's a comedy, it's not. It's still got its gravitas and all that. Yeah. But the stuff on Earth, I thought, was perfect. Like, all the tone of everything on Earth was really perfect. But then they did things like, since you haven't read the book, there's a situation where you find out how Grace ended up getting on the mission. And if I had directed that movie, it kind of should have been horrifying, like a horrifying betrayal. And it was also played kind of for laughs. And it didn't have the PhD level of direction. It had the grad student level. I guess a PhD is a grad student. I should say it was a master's degree rather than a PhD level directing job.
Okay,
but we'll see what Max has to say about it.
Well, I'll let you guys know when I've seen it. I should probably talk about what I came here to talk about. But,
yeah, absolutely.
Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the Japanese Godfather trilogy. And I have, full disclosure here, I've only watched the first two. Haven't had time to watch the other one, but I think I had a sufficient sample to be able to recommend this. I like it very much. The problem people are going to have is primarily, I think, with the first of the three movies. Again, can't speak for the third, but having watched the first and second one, they're really talking about in the very early 70s how the Yakuza have found a sort of a different place in in Japan. They're less a crime mob and more another element with the political establishment and the multinational corporations that they're trying to become perceived at least as more legitimate. And so there are enormous amount of kind of boardroom scenes and a lot of names of companies and names of different Yakuza groups. And, as people who don't, I would imagine it'd be easier for people in Japan, but it's difficult. You really have to pay attention. Now, or you can kind of just be swept up in the narrative as it goes and try to keep track of, well, this must be the bad guys and this must be the good guys and this must be the family life. And it really, so you got to get past that. By the time I went to the second one, I was more grounded, obviously, because I'd seen the first one. And the second one is, I think, a better movie. My son doesn't agree with me on this, by the way, and he lived in Japan for a year, but he said as we talked about it, he kind of saw what I was talking about, because they obviously are. This is not going to come as a huge surprise. Hugely influenced by The Godfather, and the movie even has almost comically a theme, as they say in Little Britain, a theme tune. The Godfather theme is almost replicated. They just change a few notes. Okay, and so there's that element, and they are doing the home, kind of the home life, the personal side of these stories much more in the second one than in the first one, but it's in there. So they're trying to do that, make it a family saga as well as a crime saga. And in the second one, they lean into the melodrama more, to the degree of when you get to the final scenes of the second one, we're really getting into Shakespearean tragedy. I actually thought of Godfather 3, which I don't think had been made at this point, but there's some real family tragedy that happens due to their attitudes and trying to compartmentalizing the personal side with the crime side. I'll just mention that it is an all-star affair. We have Bunta, I'm terrible at these names, and please, I apologize, but Bunta Sagawara, Sonny Chiba, and Toshiro Mifune are all in this
Wow.
saga. And there's a
Big
bunch
ones.
more. So it's really an all-star affair. The director is Sadao Nakajima. And interestingly, he names the crime family that is the central crime family, calls them Nakajima. So he names it after his own family.
Wow.
So that's interesting. But I would highly recommend this. It doesn't seem to be terribly influenced by by the look and the mood of The Godfather. This is more like Scorsese than I'm spacing the great director of The Godfather,
Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I just had a brain fart there. But I don't see any of Coppola in this in terms of the filmic technique. It moves. It does kind of cut in an interesting way. and sometimes confusingly, because it will cut from one boardroom scene to another, and you gotta wait a minute, where am I? So that's a little bit of a flaw in the first one, but it's quite a good saga. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to the third one. Now, as for the package, it's Radiance, so you know it's going to be good. They are Blu-rays, but it didn't seem to me to be distracting at all that they were Blu-rays. They have 2 discs. The first one is on the first disc, and the second and third discs are in one case. The first disc has a nice booklet, which is not a thick one, but it's quite good. Has a lot of the historic background. I understood the first movie.
It's always about quality, not quantity mix.
Yeah, it's really, really good. And it also has, a reversible sleeve on both of them. I'll pull a sleeve out just to show it off a little bit. Very different look to the sleeve. And
probably the original Japanese poster artwork.
And then the other one, if I can grab it. The other one also has one of these dramatically different sleeves. So it's a nice package, and it's a typical Radiance, knock it out of the park delivery. So
yeah, I mean they're great. I love Radiance.
Yeah, and they, it's hard to define them. I mean, they're all over the international map.
Yeah,
okay?
But I will say this: I can't wait for that 4K of The Stuntman, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Well, I'm glad they're not ignoring America.
No, I mean, but you're right. They've put out Messiah of Evil. I have an order that they wait. I like companies that wait and ship you everything when they come in to save on shipping. And I have a pretty big order with them because when I saw that they had Stuntman, I'm like, click. Because I think it was Severin that put out Stuntman. I think it was Severin.
Don't know.
Over 10 years ago. Yeah. And and that was on Blu-ray, but I hear this new transfer is great.
I should also say about the Japanese Godfather, there's a lot of action in it. There are crime scenes. There are, there's plenty of blood and guts in this movie, but you shouldn't be put off by that first movie. Could put you off because you might have trouble following it. And if you are having trouble following it, I can say just take the ride. It's worth it. And by the second movie, if you're a little confused in the first one, you will be far less confused in the second one. And the acting is stellar. It's very, very, very well thought out. It's based on a novel, so that's important. And the writer is Koji Takada. So anyway, highly recommended. Can we move on to a much lesser film, which is this is The Man Inside. Now, I liked this movie, but I didn't love it for the movie as much as I did for all of the things that were significant about the movie. For one thing, it's an odd one of the few times Jack Palance, who's a classic, obvious screen villain, is the lead, and it's always fun to watch him try to be the lead, because he's just like inherently menacing. It also has Anita Ekberg in it, and let's just say Anita has 2 not very secret weapons that she brings to this crime story. Nigel Patrick is excellent too. The person that kind of stands out for me, I'm a big Anthony Newley fan, the great Broadway star who was a great songwriter with Leslie Bricusse, did all the music for Willy Wonka. They wrote the Godfather theme, they wrote the theme to Goldfinger. They did that with You know, I think the music was actually done by John Barry, but they wrote the music, or this, excuse me, they wrote the lyrics. So I'm a fan of his. I actually saw him on Broadway in The Roar of the Grease Paint, The Smell of the Crowd, which is full of hits. Here he has not quite broken through yet. He was kind of a pet of this Warwick Films. Now, Warwick Films were kind of like Hammer. They aren't remembered as much, but they did a lot of interesting films. And the most significant thing about them probably is that most of the films, they were, let me just see if I can. Irving Allen, who we know who Irving Allen was, but Albert R. Broccoli. So this is half of the James Bond team. And there's a lot in these movies, and this is a good example of it, where they take advantage of bringing in an American actor or two to top bill it. As a British company, they're leaning on being able to get into the U.S. market, and they take advantage of the fact that they're in Europe to go around and do globe hopping. So that this particular movie, you know, we're in England, we're in Spain, we're in France, and it's actual location shooting, and that sets the pattern for James Bond. There's a lot of Bond influence here. It's kind of an okay movie. It's directed by John Gilling, who was a major writer and director for Hammer. So you know, so that's significant. Some of the other, I'll see. Well, Gilling he did Pirates of Blood River, Plague of the Zombies, the Reptile, which is, you know, that's Hammer, big time. Interestingly, he did not write The Man Inside, although his fingerprints are all over the script, because he plays fast and loose with a script. Forget the name of the guy who wrote it, but the script is just kind of okay, kind of a standard international private eye story. There was a long-running book series about this character, Milo March, played by Palance. The author was the byline was M.H. Haber, but his real name was, I believe, I've got it here somewhere. I don't have it here, but it was a pseudonym for a guy who wrote under a bunch of pseudonyms and did a lot of stuff in the crime area. And Milo March was one of the Mike Hammer era imitations, essentially. So it was a prototype for the James Bond movies. And Gilling, Gilling was also the guy who sort of made a star out of Anthony Newley, because there's a movie called Idle on Parade that he did, which was kind of a carry-on type of army comedy that was also done for Warwick Films, because Warwick used Anthony Newley all the time. And Idle on Parade was where he broke through and became a pop star, because it was kind of based on Elvis Presley getting drafted. And so this is about a pop star getting drafted, and he sang 4 or 5 songs in it. I mentioned him, I think I mentioned him last week. Did I mention him in terms? I don't know if I did. There's a movie called Jazz Boat, which is another Warwick film. These films don't always hit quite well, because they're in that late 50s, early 60s time, where it's not quite the 50s anymore, and it's not quite the 60s yet, and they're very awkward. They have one leg of the stool in each genre and period. So anyway, so this is an interesting movie. It's okay, very nice package, a lot of stuff on there in terms of just extras that are. And let me just see if there's a nice booklet, talks about this Warwick Films, and there's an alternate cover, but it's not very different. It's just a different poster.
Okay.
So I would recommend that if you have an interest in this.
Indicator is another great label.
Now let's see. let's talk about Dead again a little bit. Okay,
Yep.
this is a very nice Transforce of 4K. It looks great. It's got. Let's see if they did not do an extra. I don't think there's not an extra cover. It's not reversible.
No.
Didn't like this movie. And but if you like the movie, you should grab it because it looks great. I had a lot of problems with this movie. The best way I can describe this movie is it's the worst Brian De Palma movie he never made.
Oh, okay.
It really plays like a really bad, to me, a really bad Brian De Palma movie. It has Rana, who's the director, and I find him very spotty as a director. I really think his take on Agatha Christie is not good. It's just not good.
Okay.
And, but he did Wallander on one of the British channels. It was on PBS, I think. He did a nice job with the Wallander noir adaptation. This movie is written by Scott Frank.
Yeah.
Who has a lot of credits and not very many good ones. He did do Minority Report, and he did a really good one, Queen's Gambit.
Yeah.
Which is the miniseries, which I think is stellar.
He directed that too.
And it has an executive producer, Sidney Pollack. So I mean, it's got some.
Scott Frank got better as he went along.
Derek, and the most uncomfortable thing to me is, and I won't. You have to see the movie to understand why this was a problem for me. Derek Jacobi, the great star of I, Claudius.
Yep.
Has the worst callback moment to I, Claudius you can possibly imagine. It's almost watching the movie to get there and to just have your eyes pop at the lack of judgment of the director and even of the actor.
So it wasn't great nostalgia bait, Max?
Pardon me?
So it wasn't great nostalgia bait?
It was the worst. It was the worst kind. And I can't tell you this, but if you know what I'm talking about, you will be nodding right now, because it is I can't remember a groaner moment in a movie that was worse than this. Now, the presentation is fine, and it's an engaging movie. It's the kind of movie that holds you all the way through, and then you wish it hadn't.
Okay, Max, I'm gonna throw some out there. I would say that for me, if we're gonna talk a little Scott Frank, and I have to say that Scott Frank, I'm a fan of. He created Monsieur Spade.
I'm not allowed to see that.
He also did the Department.
You know why, don't you?
I know.
You know why, don't you?
I know. You can't put anything in there in your sequel novels. You can't do that. You can't touch it.
I was told do not even look at the 1941 Maltese Falcon.
Yep. You can't
until after you finish the book.
Yep. You know what? I bet Scott Frank has read your book. I bet he has. But I just want to point out that Dead Again was early on in his career. He went on and wrote Malice, Get Shorty, Out of Sight, Minority Report, The Wolverine, A Walk Among the Tombstones, Logan, and then he did Godless, the TV miniseries The Queen's Gambit, and Monsieur Spade. Monsieur. And he did Department Q, which I really liked.
Well, let me just say, I described it as a movie that held you, kept you on board, and then you wish you hadn't been kept on board because you wish you hadn't had to see it.
Yeah.
The problems were not with the script.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
The problems were with the direction. Very bad central performance by the director directing himself.
Yeah.
And he's a good actor. I mean, no one would say that Kenneth Branagh is not a good actor. But I think he could have used a better director. And he was trying to do the Hitchcock through the De Palma version of Hitchcock.
Yeah.
And De Palma is one of my favorite directors, as I think you know.
Yeah.
When it started, the first 15 minutes, I was like, "Wow, this is right up my alley." And there's a really good twist in it. There's an effective use of the flashbacks being in black and white and invoking film noir. It's really all in storytelling choices and acting direction by the director.
Yeah.
So you ought to see this movie just so you can talk about it, because it's a fun movie to talk about. Now, I have a movie I want to talk about that's by a performer. I'm not sure if everybody on this show is familiar with this performer. Her name is Cynthia Rothrock.
She's been on this show.
Oh, really? Maybe I missed that episode. I don't know. Anyway,
you missed that episode? Come on, Max.
It is with great pleasure that I beat my fellow Cynthia Rothrock enthusiast to talking about this movie. that I couldn't.
I showed it. I showed it on the show already, Max. But it's probably weeks or months ago.
Yeah, but showing.
But I've not talked about it. But
showing it is not responding to the 4K release of this movie, Peter. I have to say, we can have a little bit of a dialogue here, Dieter, because I think this is one of her best of the American, direct-to-video movies.
Yeah, I think you're right on that front. It had a little bit of different names attached to it. Once again, I think it has a little bit 2 or 3 titles. Always considering
it's
international
also called,
market.
Guardian Angel.
Correct.
Yeah.
That was the other title.
And I think the actor that is with her is pretty good too. His name is David McVicker, and he's had a pretty.
Refresh my memory.
He was on a soap opera for 1,000, 2,000 episodes, and he does a lot of work in Europe, and has done a lot of. He's very good at it. There's an unlikely but believable romance. Pretty good script, I think. I think it's a pretty fair. It competes with a lot of the Hollywood stuff of its period. So I liked it. It was a nice balance of action. There were plenty of Cynthia Rothrock. My wife was watching it with me, and some of the things that she does just amazed her in terms of the martial arts. And now she is criticized sometimes as being not a good actress. Now, I happen to think she's a good actress, and she's very good in this movie. There's a lot of colors she has to bring to it. I think what the problem people have is which I think is great, is she's got this little kind of baby doll voice and this incredible persona that it doesn't quite fit, which to me is charming. It's just charming.
Well, she didn't get into acting at first because of her acting skills,
Well, when you think about, she had some natural acting chops, because when you think about the fact that she's doing how many Hong Kong movies you suppose she did, about 4 or 5, and
I think you're right on, and especially considering the language barrier. You're doing movies in a country that you don't even speak the language of.
Well, she's carrying scenes off very well, and in that difficult thing that a lot of the international productions and Hong Kong productions do, where you don't know what, you just have to kind of wait for the other actor to stop saying his or her line and then say yours, and to be engaged in the scene. That isn't easy, and she's much better as an actor than she's given credit for. I couldn't have enjoyed this disc more. I won't say what movie it was, but I watched a very arty Hollywood movie the night before, and I so much enjoyed this more. it was.
You're my kind of guy. You and I, sir, park our shuttlecraft in the same shuttle bay.
All right.
I've been waiting a long time to hear Dieter Bastian say that about me. You have made.
I'm always stealing from Rob.
You have made my day, and not in a Dirty Harry way.
Yeah, and nice that you purchased the German release of it, Max. That's always nice to see the big rating on it.
Yeah, it's good. It's excellent, and but in the Star Trek area, I have kind of a. Oh, by the way, I wore this today, Rob.
Ooh, nice.
The animated
out of the way to wear that today.
Animated series with life support, the life support belts that the animated series introduced.
Well,
by the way, that picture on your T-shirt is better than all 10 episodes of Starfleet Academy combined.
Well, that's a good segue into the disappointing news I have about. If you guys, it's very tactful of you not to mention that I did not send a check this week from the Sea Wing.
Oh, well,
yeah, my manager's
I was
waiting.
going to talk with you off camera about that, but since you're bringing it up,
well, I'm afraid. Some of my promotions have been pretty successful. They're controversial, but they're successful.
That's all what counts.
Well, there was a big Star Trek convention in the area.
Ooh.
And I offered 50% off on rooms for all Starfleet Academy fans, because that's the current show.
Oh.
Don't push any buttons, Max. At least it's finished. We're
Absolutely
done.
no
At least with season 1.
Absolutely not. We didn't have a single. We had all these Star Trek fans in the area, and not one person checked in.
Well, you know why? Do you know why? Because all the people that watch Starfleet Academy and like it have no use for motel rooms.
They're just beaming in and out wherever they want to be.
They're not into there because trysts in motel rooms is a patriarchal construct that is just oppressive. So unless you're gonna have like some kind of a filk singing competition, or you want to have a convention where you're going to discuss your feelings, or you're going to whatever that kind of thing is, but nobody really wants to touch anybody else because that's too aggressive, even though Starfleet Academy does have flagrant depictions of sexuality, but that's just for show. They don't really believe in it. It's all icky.
So I should probably not write my sex manual for holograms book.
Yeah, I mean, I would, because that would be far more interesting than the depiction of a holographic person on the show, even though that actress is very endearing. The idea of they already did a holographic civilization in Deep Space Nine. And let's just the real disappointing thing for me is how unimaginative they've been about how a holographic civilization might actually work or interact with people. And I think that it's interesting because somebody said, well, what you don't understand, Rob, is this holographic civilization has made the character in such a way that they're to interact with humanity. And I would say, well, if that's true, why would a holographic civilization be stuck into? Why wouldn't they explore humanity? And every episode, the character would have been a different actor, playing a different role and a different gender. I mean, if they really wanted to get really interesting, if you were from a holographic civilization and you wanted to be an emissary to Starfleet and explore what it means to be human, wouldn't you also want to explore what it means to be a Vulcan? Or what it like wouldn't a holographic civilization take on different guises and see like, okay, this week I was this, And you could have made an interesting character that's constantly having a new actor play them in every episode.
Okay, Rob, I just have to say this. Dieter and I got together off camera to discuss this. This is an intervention. We have decided to tell you one single thing that will get you through life in a much happier way.
And what is that?
Don't take that fucking show so seriously.
Can't help it, Max.
It's his religion, Max. It needs.
Well, I gotta stop. Also, I gotta stop poking the grizzly bear.
You love to do that.
No, modern Star Trek has shown us since 2009 how our civilization is in decline. It's metaphorically showing how we've lost any semblance that all of Western civilization is imperiled because of modern Star Trek is metaphorically the straight into the toilet. We're lost.
You don't have to watch modern Star Trek to figure that out, though.
No, but it's metaphoric. You know how Star Trek is an allegorical show? Now it's become metaphoric. And it shows you, if you want to know everything wrong with the United States, it's because Star Trek used to be how our constitutional republic was bringing our great way of life to the universe, to the galaxy. You know, the idea, the wagon train to the stars, the push out west, Kennedy's Camelot, all of that. Well, now Star Trek is about the horrible rot in our academic institutions and why Western civilization is collapsing. And because here you have a show called Starfleet Academy that does nothing about academia. It does not show you how Starfleet Academy works. It doesn't show you what you need to do to progress. It's just all about your feelings and having experiences, and no one's going to commit to any hard work or anything like that. It's everything wrong with America is in Starfleet Academy.
So, Dieter, how do you think our intervention is going so far?
Not good, Max. Not good. We tried. At least we tried.
See, the people you should be intervening with are the people that greenlight those scripts, man.
Yeah. You know, I don't disagree.
They have $10 million an episode, and this is the drivel. They decided, who decided a show about a futuristic academic institution should have a big bad in it that is like an alien who wants to steal omega particles and blow up the Federation? Like, who speaks in 20th century vernacular? Who makes jokes about...
I have a simple answer. Someone who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing.
That's exactly my point. That describes all of Gen Z.
I won't go that far. I may want to sell some books to some of those kids.
They don't read. You're never going to sell them books. They'll just ask Grok, or they'll ask Gemini, or they'll ask Claude to give them a 2-paragraph summation of whatever book so they can pretend they've read it and go about their ignorant ways.
Well, I do.
It's an audiobook option.
I want to defend a few of them, because I have to say one of the pleasures of my professional life is that I don't just hear from people who are 50 and over. They are
That's
out
great.
there. And there are imagination connoisseurs of all ages.
Oh, I know. But there's only a very small percentage of them. And if you look at the Gen Z, the first generation to be less intelligent than their parents in 100 years, cognitive reasoning skills, because people's brains, reading is very important to the development of cognitive reasoning skills. But you don't need to hear it from me. I just am saying that Star Trek is the primary example that shows the decline of Western civilization, and Starfleet Academy never more so than that show.
Yeah. But I had a conversation with my 10-year-old son about this when I told him what was my favorite what was my favorite science fiction TV show? And I said, Star Trek. And then I said, also, Next Generation. And then he said to me, well, what about the Star Trek that's on now? And I said, garbage.
Yeah.
It's forbidden.
Move on. Let's move on. It's garbage.
It is.
So
easy peasy.
So anyway, gentlemen, I guess I'm pretty much wrapped up today. But I know you've got a big day ahead of you, Rob.
Okay, Max, do you have a prediction of who's? Well, no, because I have to first before the Oscars start. We have to leave because we have an open house, so I have to take the dogs away and take them to the dog park. First of all, I want to acknowledge that Thomas Logan, Dieter, he sent you this letter. He pitched himself as part of a new segment on the show.
He sent it to you and myself, Rob.
Yeah, and he wanted us to talk about alternate Oscars about 1981.
Yeah.
But there's only one answer
me,
to
Rob,
that question.
For me, Rob, the problem is probably perhaps I have not seen the Oscar winner. Perhaps I have not seen the alternate movie. And perhaps, even if I have seen them, it's way too far back in the past to remember myself, to give any cogent thoughts on the
Well, but
topic.
I'll tell you, there's only one movie that should have won the Oscar in 1981, and that's Raging Bull. Raging Bull didn't win the Oscar, and you had Chariots of Fire, and you had Ordinary People, but Raging Bull should have won.
Well, the last time I watched the Oscars was in 2002, I guess, or was it 2003, when Road to Perdition was nominated in 5 categories.
Yeah,
that's the last time. As the years go by, I just don't. I relate to a lot less. The only prediction I would make would be for Best Picture, and it would be. But to me, I can't quite decide between Sinners and One Battle After Another. They're very, it's apples and oranges, and they're both superb.
One Battle After Another is going to win, but Sinners could pull an upset.
Yeah.
You think
everything goes?
Yeah, but
everything's possible.
They're terrific movies. But if you look back at the history of the Oscars, there've been some awful movies win Best Picture.
Yeah,
and then they had that business where they had 15 nominees for Best Picture, trying to get people to go back to the movie.
That was. I mean, the 10. They added 10. It's silly to me because 5 of those don't have a chance of winning. They just do that to try and attract people to the broadcast, the Oscar broadcast.
Well, I would like to encourage some people to go to my website, maxallencollins.com. Every Tuesday I do a blog, an update. And last week, which is still up right now, I did my top 5 of everything that I'm interested in. And then people wrote me and told me, you forgot about this, you forgot about this. So now I'm going to do a second one for the other categories. But I did best movie, best science fiction TV show. I don't know if you looked at my list.
I haven't looked at it, no. But this week has been a little hectic.
It was, and it's not best of, it's favorites. Because
Plus, Thomas, the thing is, we can't do a segment with somebody that we've never streamed with before. Thomas should have sent me an audition tape showing me, because some people they're not good online.
Yeah, or he could send you what I did. I sent you photos of yourself with a sheep. And
that's
then,
true.
That
but I was shearing the sheep. I wasn't doing anything else untoward with it. You just threatened.
I don't know what shearing is a euphemism for, and I'm not sure I want to know.
Well, there you go. But yeah, Thomas, you'd have to send us an audition tape. We'd have to approve it. Because, not in all honesty, not everybody can do this. Be on camera.
I'm proof positive of that.
But it would be, but it's not a bad segment that he suggested. But it's like that. The problem with that is
it's perhaps even better as a separate show.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is that it as a separate show? Although in the case of the Best Picture of 1981, it should have been Raging Bull. But the problem.
Do you have anything more for me today, gentlemen?
Just quick on Beyond Justice Guardian Angel. I looked up my reviews, Max. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I just looked it up.
What is the highest rating you ever gave to Cynthia movie?
That's pretty up there. 8, I would say. 8. Considering Black Creek, I was more in the 5.5 out of a 10 range.
Well, my brain won't.
But it's just seen it. Beyond Justice, I gave it an 8 out of 10. And don't forget, Max, Undefeated. One of the best So Bad It's Good movies ever made. Undefeated. With her. You have not seen Undefeated.
I remember the name of the movie that you sent me. I just am blanking on it.
Righting Wrongs. Wrongs.
That is to me, in terms of her performance and the martial arts in that movie, that's the best to me.
And especially how brutal it is with the ending that actually no one survives from the good guys.
It's actually a good movie. I mean, it's a really good movie, I think.
And they had to change the ending, after some test screenings, and that's why you're getting on the Righting Wrongs edition the different endings for the movie. Like I said, the edition that I sent you, Max, on the second disc, has a random option, so you don't know which ending you will be getting if you're starting the movie.
Well, since you and I are stoned Cynthia fans, we can that's just a once a week kind of thing we do, just to see which ending will pop up.
I have not heard anything yet from Paul and Brunotto, considering his contact to her about you doing a little bit oversight on the script,
Yeah,
the script side.
We're gonna have to. Rob and I will have to pitch an actual project to her. With a concept, because you're gonna direct it, aren't you, Rob?
Absolutely. 100%.
Okay. You're going to produce it, aren't you, Dieter?
Yeah, Dieter's producing.
Okay.
Yeah. With the little money.
Here's where we start.
No, we'll raise the cash somewhere.
We don't need a huge budget. Could come back to us with $1 million. Just $1 million, Dieter. That's all we're asking.
Okay.
We'll crowdfund it.
Yeah.
By the way, Stubble McShave sends in a tip and says, it's nice to hear that a segment of Gen Z are embracing physical media, both for movies and music. It seems that they also want to own things they're passionate about. In this time of streaming and subscriptions, many want to own what they identify with. I think Stubble's right. And just quickly, there have been movies that, for whatever reason, I'll just be zipping through the internet or reading a book or something, and something will pop up that I want to see. And almost every single time, it costs money. It's not streaming somewhere. It's a rental. You have to rent it. You have to pay extra money. And this has happened more often than I care to admit. So a lot of the time, I'll own something. But like, for instance, I was watching Katie Sackhoff, who, by the way, is in True Noir, The Assassination of Anton Cermak. She has been watching, she never watched Battlestar Galactica ever. Even though she was in it the whole time. And she's been doing with her husband, she's been going back and for the very first time rewatching Battlestar Galactica. And there have been times when I just wanted to to watch it with her without, I might be up in the movie room. I don't want to come down and get my box. I could get my box set of Battlestar Galactica episodes, but I just want to, while I'm sitting there, I just want to pull up the episode, and you can't. It's only streaming for money. And it's like, that's frustrating. And a lot of the things that I've looked for recently online are it costs money, which shows you how everyone thinks everything is streaming online. Well, yeah, if you want to pay a rental fee. With all the things that all the subscriptions I have, there are so many things that I can't get that,
And
I saw a post on Instagram, Rob, that Amazon coming April you will have to pay extra if you want to see it in 4K.
Yep.
I don't know if that's correct, but I've seen a post on Instagram.
Oh yeah,
Or
no,
Amazon
they're
putting
all
it
of
behind
that.
a paywall if you want to if you want to stream it in 4K in April.
Well, let
movie.
me just say that it isn't all out there. I'll give you a good example. You mentioned Emma Stone. My wife and I watched Begonia and thought it was a very interesting movie. And
did you like it, Max? Did you like it?
Yeah, and it's one of those movies I didn't know I liked until I was really deep into it. At one point, my wife turned to me and said, "What are you making? What are you making me watch?"
For me, it was one of my favorites from last year.
It's a good sign. So we both liked it, and so I thought, okay, well then let's. The next night I sat down. Let's rent. Let's even rent. First of all, let's see who's streaming the Source
Peacock
movie.
Should be on Peacock, I believe.
Well, but I'm talking about the Source movie.
Okay.
Which is Save the Green Planet.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
the Korean film.
That's a great example, Max, because you can only get it even on standard definition, even if you would pay on the streaming services.
Now, as of yesterday, it was nowhere.
Ooh.
I couldn't even buy it.
Yeah.
But you know where you can get it?
From Arrow.
Get it from Arrow.
Great 4K.
Yes, you can. Yeah.
And,
By
the question is, Max, are you interested enough to see the original now? After Begonia.
I am.
Okay.
I am. You did too, didn't you, Dieter? Did you go back?
Yeah, it's a different. It's the same but yet different, you know. And I like Begonia more, I have to say.
I do too.
But it's interesting to see the original.
By the way, Darth Plato said. Go ahead. Darth Plato says, "Try talking with."
Guys,
you go, Rob. You go.
Sorry.
Again,
I don't mean to interrupt.
You guys are gonna have to settle down.
Yeah. It can happen. Go, Rob. Super
I was just gonna say, Darth Plato said, "Try talking with 40s accents when Max is here."
What kind of accents?
From the 1940s.
Oh, well, I'm from the 1940s.
And I think Major Chai put in a super chat for me.
I'll get to that. Castle Grayskull says, enjoy the Oscars, that she loves the bow tie, and she loves you, the three of us. Major Chai says, I saw Kiki's Delivery Service in 4K IMAX, because that was in the top 10 this week. It was glorious. Glad to see a decades-old Miyazaki film break into the top 10. The Alex Zorba says, Max, I enjoyed the Godfather, the Japanese Godfather set. Have you watched the Radiance Hard Boiled set? First film, Police Python 357 does a good take on the big clock.
Yeah, I might do that here some week when I don't have something that's more of a current release. I've only watched the first one, but I liked it very well. It's a director's box, I believe.
By the way, Major Chai asked, what's happening again at the Putnam? The Putnam event has been delayed a month, has been pushed a month, and which I've just found out, which is good because we'll get more time to promote it. I did, however, secure the Maltese Falcon in 4K to show.
People have been trying to find the Maltese Falcon for a long time, Rob.
And where can they find it again? In Max Allen Collins, The Return of the Maltese Falcon, or do they find it? I'll leave that one for you to decide. So yeah, the Putnam event, we have a 2-night event at the Putnam. It was going to be April 2nd and 3rd, but for unforeseen circumstances, it has been pushed at least a month. But it is happening. And so we're going to show, there's a night with Max Allen Collins where we're showing the Maltese Falcon, then you're going to speak about your book afterwards. And then the next night, we're playing 4 episodes of True Noir in the IMAX theater there. And then we're going to talk about the making of True Noir.
Rob, why don't you interview me?
I am going to interview you, and it's going to be broadcast live on the internet.
Great.
Yeah.
Will Dieter be there?
I don't know. I think we should
not
fly.
live. Not live.
We should fly him in because if the event, it's I think it costs $30 for a ticket, and then you get a free download of True Noir and stuff. So we could use that money and fly Dieter in.
Well, here's my suggestion. We're going to be in an IMAX theater. We'll Zoom Dieter in on the IMAX.
Oh, that would be hilarious. It'd be like in Superman the movie. And
with that Multimax, are you sure about that?
he can just look down on us and go, guilty. Guilty. Like the Kryptonians, guilty.
I think that's a brilliant idea, actually. Just bring it on.
Let's do it. By the way, Billy K says, did you guys have a chance to go to see the Elvis concert documentary? I had little interest in, but when my girlfriend wanted to go, it was great. You should see it before it leaves the theaters. Pick a cinema with a great sound system. I haven't seen it yet. I wanted to go see it, and then I haven't seen it yet. But it's still playing around at certain IMAX theaters.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
So we are caught up on the special super chats and tips.
Okay,
so,
guy.
Rob, isn't it actually better when your event at the Putnam got delayed? Isn't it coexistent with the CinemaCon? When is CinemaCon actually this year, Rob? Isn't it around
CinemaCon
April?
is the middle of April.
Middle of April.
Middle of April. Okay. Yes, I'm looking really forward to that. I think CinemaCon's going to be a banger this year. Who knows what they're going to show?
You think we're going to be probably in early May?
Yeah, like the end of April, early May. First couple days.
Great. Well, I think it's going to be a great event. I'm looking forward to it. Get to see Rob. I'm working on my basement. So when you come visit, I'll let you go downstairs this time.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that because I'd like to bring somebody down into your basement.
And then you'll come up alone? Is that what you...
Something like that.
Okay. All right.
As long as if there's pizza in the basement, and make some adrenochrome, and I can worship Ball.
Among other things, there's a Popeye video game machine in my basement.
Oh, there you go. But, I really have decided that being raised Jewish, since Candace Owens made me think about this, I've decided that I didn't know that Jews were satanic people that worshipped Baal, but I did read Baal, the horror novel, when I was a kid. So I wasn't impressed with Baal, but if she really wants us to start a satanic Baal worshipping cult, I'm happy to do it for her. Because I think Candace Owens deserves to have and we can start it in your basement. I'm looking forward to it. Because you have this beautiful house right off the Mississippi, and we can dump the bodies.
Well, that wasn't exactly what I had in mind.
Oh.
But you're in the ballpark.
Perhaps the river is already overflowing with
yeah, all we have to do is walk. What are you like? You're like a 2-minute walk to the Mississippi River?
We'll erect a slide. All the way down
No. But you got to walk. Yeah, but you got to make sure that nothing gets snagged. You got to make sure the bodies are all downriver so no one knows where they came from.
There have been a few bodies in the Mississippi River from time to time.
Well, yeah, but the way to do it is you have a raft, and you have the body in the raft tied to rocks, and then you let the raft go down, and you use geolocation stuff. You wait till it's 3 or 4 miles downriver, and you detonate a small device that pops the raft. So then the body sinks miles from where we're at, so no one will find it.
Yeah.
Very detailed instructions here, Max. Very detailed.
Well, it's the missing chapter from Huckleberry Finn.
There you go. Body disposal.
Enjoy the Academy Awards tonight. I'll probably be watching a Bowery Boys, binging on a Bowery Boys movie, movie night, where I think and there was a Bowery Boys movie once mistakenly nominated for an Oscar.
Well, there you go.
It was the musical soundtrack. So it is. So I'm going to be watching the Academy Award nominated series, The Bowery Boys.
Nice. There you go. I'm in.
All right. Gentlemen, thanks for the plug on my little movie. Appreciate that.
You mean, wait a minute.
That's what we're here for.
You mean Death by Fruitcake? Now available on VHS? Oh, wait, on DVD?
Well, no, we did manage to get it on DVD. So, it's a little regional movie. Guys,
and before anybody laughs, there are the numbers. 55% of the physical media is still sold as DVD. So,
Yeah, that's true.
All good.
So I'm the cutting edge of yesterday.
Max, that's a way to be, though.
That's another quote I need to put down, Max.
Yes. Well,
True.
My favorite quote. I'll leave with this, but the great writer Richard Yates, who wrote Revolutionary Road, who was my instructor at the University of Iowa, and the Writers' Workshop, the famed Writers' Workshop, wrote to a famous editor at a house, and the guy wrote back and said, Young Mr. Collins has promise, but I'm afraid he's a blacksmith in an automotive age.
Wow. That's a quote right there, man.
Cutting edge from yesterday.
That's everything you need to know about me, and I'm going to go work on my 40s accent.
All right. You do that. All right, Max. The great Max Allen Collins, ladies and gentlemen.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Definitely.
And wait, look, there's Max, and I don't want to let him go without, keeping Dieter. Say I kept Max, but there you are, Dieter. Now we're going to let Max go. So
have a nice Sunday, Max.
Thank you.
Yeah. And you have more time than usual. You started early.
Yes.
You have a bigger Sunday left.
It's time
more
for
time
lunch,
left.
actually.
There you go. Have
exactly.
some lunch. Max Allen Collins, ladies and gentlemen.
Awesome.
All right, Dietz. Should we jump into the news?
The news. Yeah.
Okay, I got to tell you. Now, I don't think other people might be as excited as I am for this, but Warner Archive has announced their latest spate of titles. And they have released a comedy from the early 80s that I saw in the theater that I actually loved. Speaking of Academy Awards, Eileen Brennan, who played the drill instructor, sergeant, or whatever from this movie. One of the great comedies that has been unavailable in HD. And I watched I've often wondered what happened to this movie. This was a huge movie when it came out. It stars Goldie Hawn, Private Benjamin. There was a really crappy transfer, an old transfer that had been airing on various networks and things. It wasn't like forgotten, but the transfer was really old. My mom and I went and saw this movie. I loved this movie when I saw it, and it's finally coming out on Blu-ray from Warner Archive.
Nice.
Happy to get it. Very, very good film. And then Warner Archive's got another list of bangers. Spencer Tracy and Betty Davis, 20,000 Years in Sing Sing, coming out. And you know what? You had me at Spencer Tracy and Betty Davis. Great stuff. And then this is a really strong lineup. Crack Up with Pat O'Brien, Claire Trevor, and Herbert Marshall. Although, to tell you the truth, I've never seen this movie. I forgot it was on this list. But I'm sure George Feltenstein knows what's up. But it is coming out. But then we have King Richard and the Crusaders, one of the adventure pages of the ages. And this, what's not to love? I mean, Rex Harrison, come on. George Sanders, Lawrence Harvey. I've never seen this, but hey, it's Warner Archive, and I bet it's great. So that's coming out. And then we have Captains Courageous, and I have seen this movie, and it's great. Again, Lionel Barrymore, Melvin Douglas, Spencer Tracy, come on. And Mr. Bartholomew there. This is a great movie, based on, of course, the Rudyard Kipling story. It says on this cover that it's as great as Mutiny on the Bounty. I don't know about that because I haven't seen this in ages, but getting this, love to get this, and hopefully I will. And then we've got Ronald Coleman with Helen Hayes and Aerosmith. Look at that cover. God damn. And then this is another 4K release from Warner Archive. I love George Stevens' filmmaker's journey. This is a really interesting, this documentary about George Stevens. This is a really great documentary about filmmaking. And I love that they're putting this out in 4K. This is so cool that Warner Archive is doing this. You go, Warner Archive. You go, George Feltenstein. This is a banger. And anybody who is a film fan who hasn't seen this, you owe it to yourself to check it out. So that's exciting. That's Warner Archive. And then we have finally Monogram Matinee Volume 2, the Monogram Studios, Louisiana and Song of the Range. The Monogram Studios, kind of forgotten these days, but there you go.
Yeah.
Double feature. So it's cool to see that. And that's the Warner Archive lineup. Always a strong one from them. Then we jump over.
Were they working under Warner, Rob? That studio?
No, it was
Monogram?
it was a separate studio that disappeared.
Okay.
Yeah. And then actually I just realized I have not called up my haven't called up the descriptions of all of these because I don't want to miss out or get anything wrong. This next one comes from Kino Lorber, and that is Walk a Tightrope. An American living in Great Britain claims he was hired by a woman to kill her husband, who she clearly loves, but all is not what it seems. And this is a new 4K restoration. And then check this out, dude. Oh, what?
Rob, isn't that tagline the tagline for our show? The thin line between disaster and adventure?
That's the story of my life, dude. That is the story of my life. Come on, what are you talking about? That is my life. And then look at this. 20th anniversary of Slither. The 20th anniversary of James Gunn's Slither. It's a steelbook. I don't know if I like the artwork, but I'm going to get this anyway. Love Slither. How cool is that? And by the way, this is
a case where the steelbook looks better when you have it in your hands than on the page.
I mean, this is really interesting because this is coming out from the British label Vertigo. And it has a new 4K restoration approved by James Gunn. And it has a photography interview. It has an editor interview. It has Todd Masters, the special effects designer, and more stuff. So this is pretty cool. And they're putting this in theaters in Britain. So Vertigo is releasing that. So that's kind of neat. I'm all about that. What's not to love? Then also coming out from Kino Lorber is The Snowman with Michael Fassbender. This was a disappointing movie. I was really looking forward to this.
Never seen it, but I heard reviews about it.
Yeah, I didn't love it. I didn't love it. But hey, if Kino Lorber's putting it out, there you go. From 88 Films, we've got God of Gamblers 2 coming out. And this stars Stephen Chow, Andy Lau, and Man Tat Ing. And it comes out April 27th. So there you go. Back to the casino. God of Gamblers 2. No Chow Yun Fat, though. And then we have It Came, a steelbook for the great classic, 50s classic. It Came from Outer Space from 1953. This is a great movie. It influenced Alien. Ray Bradbury wrote the original story. And this is good stuff. Good stuff here. So, hey, what's not to love? It Came from Outer Space. And then we've got a movie called Peacock Coming from Oscilloscope. Now, I don't know anything about this movie. It's from 2024. But Oscilloscope they always do a good job finding really interesting, falling through the cracks kind of movies that turn out to be greich.
Is that a German movie? Because the names are pretty looking
Yes,
German.
it's Bernard Wenger's
Albrecht Schuch.
Yep, okay. It's a German movie. And this actually sounds really great. At My Companion, the cultured and confident Matthias is available for a reasonable fee to fill any social role you desire, from the perfect son to the enlightened boyfriend, or even pilot dad to impress your classmates at Bring Your Parent to School Day. But while Matthias is at the top of his professional game, his personal life begins to crumble as he detaches from his own identity and burrows deeper into his fictitious lives. It's a biting and hilarious social satire about the masks we wear in pursuit of the human condition. I'd get that.
Okay.
Sounds good to me. Now, Universal, taking a page from Warner Archive, they've got a bunch of titles, old movies. The Private War of Major Benson with Charlton Heston and Julie Adams. Here Comes Cookie with George Burns and Gracie Allen. George and Gracie, that's why the whales were named George and Gracie in Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home, after these two. International House with W.C. Fields, Rudy Valley, and George Byrne and Gracie Allen. So there you go. And then we've got Bing Crosby, W.C. Fields, and Joan Bennett in Mississippi. And finally, rounding out the Universal titles, $1 Million Legs. So those are all interesting movies I know nothing about. But hey, nothing wrong with that. And then we have, coming from Kino Lorber, Harry and the Hendersons, coming out in 4K. Of course, another great classic 80s movies, Harry and the Hendersons, and there's both a Blu-ray and a 4K in here, and it is a new 4K restoration with Dolby Vision. There's new audio commentary from director William Deere, and there's a couple other audio commentaries, and there's some legacy special features on the Blu-ray. So that's pretty cool. Now, we know Arrow is releasing Blue Thunder, so why shouldn't Sony release Blue Thunder, the complete series? The short-lived television series of Blue Thunder. Look, growing up, like you were either a Nirvana or a Pearl Jam person. Growing up, you were either a Blue Thunder or an Airwolf kid. I was a Blue Thunder guy.
One of the two.
And this only went 11 episodes.
You can only choose one.
But Dana Carvey, Dick Butkus, Bubba Smith, James Ferrantino, what's not to love? If you like it, there you go. Now, here's an interesting cult title that actually, when I first started working in special makeup effects, they just finished, at Tony Gardner's, they just finished working on this. The Dark Backward is coming from Sony. They're putting it out on Blu-ray. Bill Paxton, Lara Flynn Boyle, Judd Nelson, James Caan, and Rob Lowe. This is a crazy movie coming out March 19th, if you're interested. Kino Lorber is bringing us The Great Outdoors in 4K. Howard Deutsch's comedy. So there you go. And then we've got, what is this? We've got Goldstone, The Great Outdoors. What is it? That I already said Great Outdoors. This is Goldstone from 2016. It's a Australian film. This is an outback noir movie. Indigenous detective Jay Swan.
I think, Rob, I know that movie. I think I've seen that movie. Because you said it's 2016. It probably came out here. I think I saw that movie.
Oh, well, it's Indigenous people's land. There's some kind of a conspiracy, and an Indigenous detective solves the mystery.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
That sounded good to me. And then we have, let's see, what do we got here? These are Radiance's June releases. Speaking of Radiance, this film is called Solo. A womanizing violinist and jewel thief must abandon his carefree lifestyle when he learns that his younger brother is part of a leftist revolutionary group responsible for the brutal murders of powerful men. Determined to save the life of his idealistic sibling, the cynical drifter becomes embroiled in a struggle that is not his fight. A decade after appearing at La Tite contre le mur, Jean-Pierre Mocky returned to acting with this his profoundly satirical crime drama. Unflinching and heavily influenced by American cinema, Solo captures the visceral feeling of disillusionment of a post-1968 French society. So there you go. That sounds interesting. Then we have, I guess this is called Head. Wait. This is a Head Against the Wall. After he steals money from his wealthy father one too many times, the rebellious Francois is forcibly committed to a psychiatric institution. Labeled a delinquent and an arsonist, he endures the dehumanizing treatment reserved for society's rejects. All right. I'll watch that. And then what do we got here? We have another movie. Let's go to Asia. Warm Water Under a Red Bridge. And who directed this? Takashi Miike. I can never pronounce his name right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't either, Rob. With the double I.
I know. Is it Miike? Miike? Maybe one day.
I have no idea.
What can you do? This stars the guy from Perfect Days. So there you go. And this, actually, you know what? This is not Takashi Miike directed. He just introduces the film. This was actually directed by Shohei Imamura. It's his final feature.
Yeah.
And this is a boldly sensuous and taboo-breaking love story. Ooh. Well, there you go. And then we have The Pornographers. A former Buddhist monk turned erotic filmmaker, Sabuyan lives with hairdresser Haru and their 2 teenage children. Shooting 2 skin flicks per day, he somehow manages to stay out of the clutches of the Yakuza, but real trouble starts when Haru discovers him lusting after her daughter. Shohei Imamura's landmark satire of post-war affluence was adapted from the internationally renowned novel by the same guy who wrote Grave of the Fireflies and brings to life the seedy side of 1960s Japan. I'm in. Count me in. So that's Radiance.
Berlinale Classic, it says on the cover. Berlinale Classics.
I mean, what can you say? And let's see, what do we got here? We've got Bend of the River coming from Kino Lorber. And this is Anthony Mann's Bend of the River from 1952, starring Jimmy Stewart, Rock Hudson, and Julie Adams. So there you go. What's not to love?
What's going on in that river, Rob, on that cover?
A lot of stuff is going on in that river.
Party there.
Bend of the River, buddy. Let's see what this... Well, it's 53, so not a lot can... Reformed outlaw Glenn McClintock has become a guide for farmers headed to Oregon. When he rescues rescues thief Emerson Cole from execution, Cole joins him on the journey, and once the settlers arrive, they discover that a trader who was supposed to send them provisions is now trying to scam them. Well, after McClintock and Cole travel to Portland to forcibly retrieve the supplies, Cole betrays McClintock and steals the goods himself. McClintock pursues ready for battle. Well, there you go. And that is, of course, from Kino Lorber. And then what else we got here? What is this? I don't even know what this is. Apparently, Kyushi Kurosawa. Kyushi Kurosawa, one of my favorite directors. This is his new film. Now, this chime, let me make this a little bigger. This is coming to us. Janus is releasing this movie domestically, but I think, is this on Criterion? I mean, maybe it's just one of their Janus releases. I guess it's just Janus. But a masterclass in escalating dread and shocking violence, crime reaffirms Kiyoshi Kurosawa as one of our modern horror's most innovative and unpredictable visionaries. During a class, culinary instructor Matsuoka witnesses the suicide of a young student driven to insanity by what he claims is a chiming sound that controls his mind. Soon, Matsuoka begins hearing it too and descends into a mental abyss that warps his perception of reality and gives vent to his darkest impulses. Expertly blending the psychological portraiture of hallucinatory mystery, Kurosawa offers a chilling depiction of madness that interrogates the very stability of our everyday existence. With the director's patented creeping tracking shots and complex sound design, fashioning an immersively terrifying and unnerving cinematic experience. And this also comes with a new 4K restoration of his movie Serpent's Path. And this comes out on March 27th in the theaters.
Berlinale Spezial. Berlinale special
There you go.
on the top, the cover.
And now look at this. This comes out from Severin. Bronson Lee, The Karate Collection. The Karate Collection. So,
holy moly.
Following the international success with Sonny Chiba's The Street Fighter series, Toei Company signed Japanese-American 8th degree black belt karate and kabuto champion Tadashi Yamashita for a new action trilogy in which Yamashita's rugged looks and ferocious skills are pitted against a murderer's row of actual competition fighters. In Z Karate, also included here is the recut dubbed U.S. version released as Bronson Lee champion. Ohio farm boy Yamashita is targeted by mobsters when he dares to compete in Kyoto's World Championship. So there you go. If you love martial arts, there's a lot of Asian cinema icons.
Not sure about that collection, Rob.
Hey, what's not to love? But there's 3 movies, and there you go. There's even a trailer for it if you want to watch it. But hey, what do you want me to say? I don't know.
Yeah. Perhaps just watch the trailer first.
Look, man, I'm just telling you it's out.
Yeah.
And then we got the Temple Woods Gang is coming. And this is coming to us from Several Futures. A gang of small-time criminals in a working-class French suburb stage a daring heist against a mysterious Saudi prince and pay the consequences in this latest and possibly greatest feature from undersung French-Algerian master Rabat Amour Zayamichi. And this was picked by Cahiers du Cinema, the magazine, as one of the top 10 films of 2023. So there you go.
Okay.
And then we get to the charts. Let's see what they say on the charts. The charts say best-selling Blu-ray discs, and this is all formats, so Blu-ray and 4K. Predator Badlands is number 1. Excalibur, number 2.
Nice.
You go, Arrow. 5 Nights at Freddy's, 2. Now You See Me, Now You Don't is... Actually, that's 4. Sisu 2, Road to Revenge is 5. Wicked for Good is 6. Waterworld, 2 Arrow titles, dude. Is
Westworld,
7.
Westworld, not Waterworld.
Oh, did I say Waterworld? Westworld. What am I thinking?
Yeah.
Faux pas. I'm looking at my Westworld disc as I say this. F1, the movie, Ben-Hur, Good, Silent Night, Deadly Night. And now the top 4K discs. Number 1 on the 4K list, Excalibur. From when did that happen? When did Arrow have the number 1 4K? That's amazing. Predator Badlands, Westworld, number 3, too. Look at that. Ben-Hur, F1, the movie, 5 Nights at Freddy's, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Dogma, Now You See Me, Now You Don't.
Oh, nice.
Sisu, Road to Revenge, coming out.
Nice.
Nice. That is very exciting. And that, my friend, is all the news that is fit to print. But I have one other piece of news. The Ninth Gate, the official announcement for the Ninth Gate, Lionsgate Limited, is going to be this Tuesday. And guess whose longest essay ever is going to be on the Lionsgate Limited website talking about the Ninth Gate? This guy. So
awesome.
There you go. So Ninth Gate.
And considering the news, Rob, I looked it up. I still have it. I saw the movie Goldstone on August 20, 2018. I gave it an 8 out of 10. It's available on UK Blu-ray. It was available on UK Blu-ray back in the day. So it's a little bit 7 years old, but I loved it. 8 out of 10. I was made aware of the movie through a YouTube clip I read here. It's a cop thriller with a nice atmosphere tied to the Australian location. So really enjoyed it.
Nice. All right. Nice. Well, I turn it over to you for the live chat.
Nice, Rob. So previously on Let's Get Physical Media. Vex Wuther. Where did I learn English? It's very good. I'm not sure about that. Well, considering my English, I had some years in school. Then came the time where it was mandatory that I do 1 year in the German army. And there was the first war in the Gulf. And we helped out the Americans a little bit. And I saw, wait, they have video stores here? And I, with a little bit of English, could rent out stuff. because Rob knows we have had heavy censorship here in Germany during the 80s, and we finally could get the stuff unrated. So I started watching movies in English first, mostly horror stuff because of the censorship, and then it developed. I watched more in English. So I was at least not perfect, but good in listening to English and writing English. But actually talking the language, actually Rob helped me out here with doing the show first, because I remember when the first invite from Rob came, dude, come on, we Skype a little bit, and I was like, oh, holy moly. I was really nervous the first time, even if it was totally private. Yeah, even if it was totally private, nobody was watching. But Rob said, come, we Skype a little, because it was really the first time where I had to use the language in speaking terms, not writing, not hearing, and speaking is the top. If you can speak a language, that is really the pinnacle. David Martyrs, considering Scream 7, the film was okay, but fell apart in the end. Yeah, the release was a little bit wonky. Thomas Logan says, Scream 2 is meta gold, Scream 3 is watchable, 4 is the weakest offender, and 5 is 7, also including the new one, are decent. Power Ranger Donnie, I did watch John Campion's rant against Scream 7. Epic. Yeah, epic nonsense. Correct. Paul and Brunotto, I haven't seen The Bride, but it looks disappointing to me, yeah, as it was for most people, including Rob. Major Chai, I was originally intrigued. It looked like Bonnie and Clyde meets Bride of Frankenstein, but based on the reviews, I'll pass. And Alpital says, if I want to watch The Bride, I put on Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair. Andy Haynes, I watched War Machine, the original, and Mercy today, the movie with Chris Pratt. Both were nonsense, but entertaining. Disengage brain. We have here, let me see. A Spectator 6506. My man, Dieter Bastian, is always delivering. Well, Rob put that in my contract. I need to. Castle Grayskull, considering my mom was rushed to the emergency room. Dieter, Castle Grayskull, Dieter, give your mom a hug for me. I will do that, Castle Grayskull. And David Rose says, Resident Evil is great fun. Yeah, the new game is great. And Lord Toth, gotta take the time if you are enjoying the game. I'm with you, Deeds, because I said 2 weeks ago, I need time to play Resident Evil. And Paul and Brunotto, actually, it seems he was the only one who discovered this. Even if I showed Resident Evil, he mentioned there's the Last of Us 2 PS4 version in your Resident Evil. That's happening, Paul, because I always have a disc in the PlayStation 5, and I put in the new one and the old one out, but I haven't put it in the right game. So the Resident Evil disc is in the PlayStation 5, and the Last of Us is here. But he detected that it was not the right disc here. Andy Haynes, the Under Siege extras from Arrow, the release, are interesting. Surprise, surprise. No one liked Siegel very much. Oh, okay. Planet 628. I watched Highlander 4K yesterday for the 40th anniversary, and it was glorious. Good pick. Mike157 asks, where do I get one of them t-shirts? I will ask my boss if he still has the design left saved. If somebody wants one,
if he does have that, we can put it up on the channel to sell.
Yeah, I will ask Patrick about it so we can get it out. Oh, this is the back of the shirt. German flag, US flag. Show your true colors. Perhaps you can put it on the store. FX Starlord, Rob, the fact that you worked on Texas Chainsaw Massacre still blows my mind. Huge fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Texas Chainsaw. Hang on, I have to. I don't want to pop his bubble, but it was Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. I was probably 4 years old when they were making, or 5 years, 6 years old when they were making the original Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah. driving it around looking for Texas stickers at the gas station.
That's right. That was me. Don't mess with Texas.
Yeah. Alpinal 666. Speaking of dogs, Keanu Reeves' band Dogstar is releasing a new album and coming to Germany of a short tour. Guess I'll get some tickets. Let us know how Keanu was live. Patrick Williams. Hello, Burnett and Bastian. Predator Badlands 4K was pretty good. That's good to hear. Andy Haynes. Still really enjoyed Badlands. Second time around. Mike 157. Daniel Bernard is underrated. Yes, he's one of the good ones considering action. G. Aldrich, I forgot to put it out. Showed it last week. Says tomorrow's show is a boxing manga. The version that the Blu-ray, the movie that I showed last time. Thomas Logan. Dieter Bastian is a man of principles. Sometimes, yeah. Oh. G. Eldridge, Scream 7 sucks. And Thomas Logan says, it doesn't. It's a solid Scream entry, just nothing life-changing. Exactly. The Alex Sorber, someone likes Scream 7 for sure, looking at the box office numbers, but I'm never ever going to see it. Roy Nasser, on IMDb, considering Max was on the show last week, of course, and he showed us the Sunset Warrior movie from John Woo, the director's cut. And Roy Nasser says on IMDb it's called Heroes Shed No Tears, and I think Heroes Shed No Tears is mostly used when it's the old theatrical version, and the newer one, it's mostly called Sunset Warriors, as far as I know. Wolverine says, thanks guys, stuck in the hospital, and this is saving my sanity. Love ya. That's always great if someone puts something like that in the chat. And he goes on to continue. Ishtar is awful, sorry. And Paul and Bonotto, Elaine May also directed Ishtar, and that was awful. Because Max had a little bit sweet spot, considering some scenes of it. And we talked a little bit about Tough Turf, if Max has seen it. And the Alex Sorber says, oh yeah, Tough Turf, not close to great, but watchable. And he says, Max, you really can skip Tough Turf and live a good life. Paul and Brunotto, I will talk to Cynthia about the issue, Max perhaps doing some script work for it. So Paul, let us know how that goes. I showed Running Man last week and told Rob about the strange rating, because all the extras in Germany has to be rated 2, and that what gave the movie actually an 18 certificate because of the extras. But Thomas Logan says, another disappointing Arnold remake, Edgar Wright's, is officially dead. And Major Chai asks, is he in director jail permanently or just for a long time? Well, we'll see. The Alex Sorber, Dieter, damn, I thought I got into much the last 2 weeks, but you are a man on a mission. Well, I was not there for 1 week. And if I skip 1 week, well, there could be a little bit of a pile up then. William Coty says, have you seen Scream 7? Yeah, we talked a little bit about it. Like I said, it's a fine entry. A little bit on the bottom, weak reveal, but nevertheless, I enjoyed the ride. The Alex Sorber, Dieter, tell us what you think of modern Star Trek. I have not actually seen anything of Starfleet Academy.
That's all we need
and I will
to
keep
know.
Keep it that way. Stubble McShave, Dieter, do you have plans to see the Epic movie? Yes, but unfortunately I have not seen it in theater, but I will keep a lookout on the disc for sure when it comes out. Then Rob left me a little bit to myself last week, and I was a little bit confused what to do with myself because we were already through. And Thomas Logan says, Robert Meyer Burnett was a man of integrity, somewhat, because we just left. And then Ubino says, Rob is in the E-Wing getting the pink slip from Max. And I totally forgot didn't have done the live chat yet, so I could have done that. And Paul and Bruno said, read the live chat from 2 weeks ago, as Major Chai suggests. I should have just looked at the live chat at that point. Adventure Square, Rob just generated a new AI version of himself. And he goes on, The Swimmer, which Rob showed in the news section, is one of the best what the fuck old-timey movies I have ever seen. Oh, okay. And Shannon Surf says, I worked on the sound remaster of The Swimmer. Really a cool movie. Rob showed the Iron Maiden documentary about his their old original singer Paul Di'Anno is coming out. And Adventure Square says, this Iron Maiden documentary reminds me that the Bone Temple was a fucking great movie.
It was.
Or sequel. You buy now, Mark Dacascos, what I showed with Crying Freeman, is a pretty solid action guy. Yeah, because Rob had in the news section double feature. Walter Whitewalker, Paradise 2 took a little while to get going. Not quite as good as season 1, but still great. And he goes on, Monarch 2 is great too. I haven't started.
Yeah, John Campion told me that it's incredible.
Oh, okay. It's nice to hear. Oh, wait. The Bad Canadian Kid, okay. Have to be hesitant with that, Rob. Have to be hesitant with that. Albertal 666. I watched the first 2 episodes of Paradise season 2. They felt a bit more, to me too. I can feel you, Deeds. And Stubble McShave had a little comment in the live stream where I said there's so much new content that nothing sticks, and you don't repeat watch films that often. But Thomas Logan says that's too much of a generalization. I watched Marty Supremes 5 times in theaters, same with Sinners, and one battle after another. But Thomas, besides you, I don't know anyone who've seen a movie 5 times in theaters. BCH. It's getting easier to go back and rewatch older good stuff because so much new stuff is crap. Okay. Major Chai Chai. Where do you find the time? Like Scotty says in Generations, something is important, you make the time. Walter Whitewalker, come on, Dieter. What kind of 3-week live chat was that? Yeah, was a little short, but never know what I filter out of it. And Castle Grey Scouts, no shout outs for me. You got a shout out last week, but it was on the Max Allen Collins section because I asked Max if he can tell us a little bit about the book sales, how the book sales were going. You got a shout out, not during the live chat, but during Max's section. Real Thomas Logan, Gen Z is mostly useless and will remain useless. And we have here Dantes 74302. The Burnettwork. Fun fact, my nephews and nieces who are teenagers are actually into vinyl records. So it's not just movies, they are collecting. Okay. Tele Champion, so many incredible Robert Duvall movies that aren't even on Blu-ray. Open Range is one of them. Actually, it is on Blu-ray. Not in the States, but in Spain. There is a Blu-ray out, and I showed it on the show. And Power Ranger Donny says, that was fun. Thank you, Rob, Dieter, and all. Have a better week, and may the power protect you all. This was the live chat readout from last week. And I saw, of course, before Project Hail Mary, since it's an Amazon production, they showed the Master of the Universe trailer.
Yeah.
Your screening too, Rob? Master of the Universe trailer?
They didn't show anything at the screening. Okay. Oh, they did show the extended clip of the Odyssey.
Oh,
with the Trojan horse.
The six minutes?
Yeah.
6 starting minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which
nice.
Jury's out on
me. Okay,
me.
let me know. Come on, Rob. Come on, Rob. Give it to us.
The jury's out with me on the Odyssey. I find look, I find Christopher Nolan is an interesting guy because his movies to me are very formal. In a way, they're very clinical. And I like him as a filmmaker, but sometimes like when I watch Batman or The Dark Knight Rises, there's a lot of stuff in that movie that doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense. Like when Bane takes over like the stock exchange and they shoot it all up and suddenly Bruce Wayne has lost his entire fortune and the power's off at his house. I'm like, come on, man. No rich person, you can't. They're not going to turn your power off right away. You got to wait till the next bill's going to get paid. And and why would Batman stop and have a burning logo on the side of the bridge? You know, there's all this stuff.
It's cool, Rob. It's cool. It's fucking cool.
But it's and then when I was watching Tenet is a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. But I'm like, yeah, what is this ridiculousness? I mean, going backwards and forward. It's just you're going backwards in time. So like, how does that work when you're breathing? are you breathing backwards? I mean, it's just there's logic issues in his movies that drive me crazy. But I mean, but his films are very beautifully made. So sometimes you overlook. Sometimes they're full of gobbledygook. The Odyssey, to me, that Trojan horse sequence is both really cool and a little goofy. so we're gonna see. We're gonna see. The jury for me is out, but the audience loved it. You know, they were cheering it. So we'll see. I hadn't seen that 6 minutes before. I'd only seen the trailers.
Okay. Yeah.
So we'll see. We do have a few super chats. Thomas Logan says Sinners sweeps tonight. 12 Oscars, including Best Picture, Director, Original Screenplay for Coogler, Director of Photography for Archipop, which I tend to agree with. Timmy and Buckley win. Stellan and Madigan win Supporting. Paul Thomas Anderson wins Adapted Screenplay. The Secret Agent wins International. I'd take that bet. I don't know about that.
Pretty good.
There's a lot there. Sinners is not going to win 12 Academy Awards. It's not. It might, but I don't think it is. And I don't think it sweeps either. But we'll see. 200 Watt Studio says you can trash your copy of Private Benjamin from the Tuna Train. Yes, you know, a lot of my Tuna Train discs are out. So that's kind of fun.
Since you told us, Rob, Private Benjamin fell a little bit off the earth. Where did Tuna Train get?
Well, it was being broadcast in HD.
Okay.
It was just an
HD.
old. It was a bad master. It was not good. Stubble McShay says the Snowman book was great. Too bad the movie sucked.
Adaptation are tough to do.
200 Watt Studio says, finally, the 2010 Year We Make Contact 4K announcement. Well, I mean, you got to have patience on that. I mean, Arrow has been killing it with the Warner Brothers genre titles, and they have 100 to get through. Just have patience. I mean, it is the 50th anniversary of Logan's Run this year. Where's that disc? It's coming. Forbidden Planet, Soylent Green, The Omega Man, I mean, Contact, Lady Hawk. They're all coming. It's just a matter of time. 200 Watt Studio goes on to say, yes, it's Takashi Miike. Takashi Miike. Takashi Miike.
We were right.
Miike's okay. Foolish Wiccan. This is Foolish
Wiccan.
Yeah, says Tom Hanks' best movie is Bachelor Party, no doubt. Bachelor Party's pretty great. I'm not going to deny that. I'm a Bachelor Party fan. And that is the end of the super chats.
Okay.
So we're good there.
Okay.
Which is good.
Rob,
good with us. Yeah.
Looking forward to the Oscars.
Yep.
Tonight.
Oscars tonight.
Yeah.
And Project Hail Mary opens next week. We'll see how
next
it
week
does.
starting. Yeah. Considering CinemaCon, Rob, since the deal is not finalized, does Paramount and Warner do separate?
Yeah, I think they're going to do. I think they'll
Okay.
do separate presentations. We'll see where that goes because Warner Brothers has a big slate. Paramount doesn't have much.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see where all that shakes out.
Yeah.
You know, I'm looking forward to seeing where that shakes out. So,
so always great the coverage that you do with John. What's coming out on the pike the year. It's always great.
Yeah,
CinemaCon.
it's I love
Coverage.
CinemaCon. I love it so much. So we shall see. Hopefully we'll have a great time at CinemaCon. I had a great time last year. So yeah. And I guess that brings us an end to this episode.
Yeah.
Which is good. I can go deal with what I have to deal with.
Ja. So for me, jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte zu erzählen, die du noch zu hören hast. Alles, was du tun musst, ist zuhören.
I just want to point out that next week in select theaters at Regal and AMC's around you, Bryan Singer's first movie since Bohemian Rhapsody comes out, A Monument. a truly independent film that I saw and thought was wonderful. If you see the trailers or TV spots, you might notice a familiar voice at the end of the trailer saying, "In theaters Friday." You know, you might notice that voice if you see any trailers. I don't know who that is. You'll have to figure it out for yourself. But yeah, I did an interview. I interviewed John Voight and Joe Mazzello, they play father and son in Monument. I did a big interview with them. What an honor to sit down with John Voight. I mean, I got to tell him the story when my mom took me to see Coming Home that he stars in when I was 11 years old. And it was a spicy, spicy movie. And John Voight's like, you were too young to see that. I go,
right.
Yeah, I was.
A lot of movies you were too young, Rob. A lot of movies.
Thank you, Mr. Voight. I had a wonderful time with him. I mean, he's a Hollywood legend. Sure, some people might not like his politics, but he's a wonderful, wonderful guy. And it was so much fun to hang out with him. And he interviewing him, he told me how impressed he was with me, and I'm like, oh my God, you know. And he's so good in Monument. Him and Joe Mazzello are so great. Their father-son relationship anchors the film, and it's a story that, you know, I don't think that it might not be something that everybody's proud of, but it's a great story. It's a true story, and I think it's definitely worth seeing, especially today. But it is a truly independent film, and like Taylor Swift, they went directly to Regal and AMC to introduce it. And next week, it's gonna at the Laemmle's Encino. I'm gonna be out there for 2 showings. I think the 4:00 show. I think there's a 4:20 show and a 7 show. So I'm gonna come out there if you want to have a little bit of a Post-Geek Singularity meetup, and you want to talk next Saturday. I'm gonna be at the theater. And I don't know if I can get Brian to come with me, but I'm going to try and get him to do that and hang out, get that box office up.
And it actually looks pretty big, actually, Rob. You're saying independent, but the movie looks
totally independent movie, actually. And it is a very independent movie that has a big studio sensibility to it.
Okay.
It looks great, and it's really well made, and Brian knocked it out of the park. So that was great to see from him. All right. And on that note, everyone, every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear. All you have to do is listen. And with that, have a great Oscar day. I hope, I don't know if anyone's bet on the poly markets who's going to win the Oscars, but hey, we'll see how it goes down.
Yeah, how it shakes out. And we will
all right,
be
everybody.
Back normally next Sunday.
Next week.
See you next Sunday.